So, time for Superheat B for Junior Rotax. Let's take you through the starting grid. Pole position is going to be in the hands of Latvia's Tom Strela. Thijs van Wijk will be alongside on the front row, with row 2 being completed by Italy's Lorenzo Giaquinto and Trinidad and Tobago's Naomi Garcia. Eva Dollarstein from the Netherlands and Andrea Remy from Switzerland round out row 3. It's an all-British row 4 courtesy of Ollie Wise and Vlad Tomenchuk. It's an all-Dutch row 5 completing the top 10 with Max Sadursky and Jake Menton completing the top 5 rows. Tom Reja, Adrien Tions, Alexander Van Meeuwen, Mate Koperhidze, Antoine Lemieux, Jakub Kubera, Lars Lambers, Marco Falli, Elliot Surtees and Bran van der Beken round out the grid. So it is down to Tom Strela and Thijs van Wijk to control the pace from the front row. Red lights are ignited on the starting gantry ahead of 9 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. They exit out of the final corner. Revs rise, lights are on, lights are out as Superheat B for juniors gets underway. Good start by the pole sitter, Tom Strela. A little bit of bumping and boring going into turn 2 for the first time. A couple of the drivers using the runoff area on the approach into turn number 3. As got a little bit clumsy just outside of the top 3 to top 6. Heading through out of turns 4 and 5. One driver on the inside was very much sideways as Max Sadursky makes a move on the 291, I believe, of Mate Koperhidze from Georgia. As the leaders starting to initialise a small breakaway. And by leaders, I mean top 5. Eva Dollarstein has made her way up into 4th already. So, at the minute, Strela leads, Van Wijk, Giaquinto up into is P3, Dollarstein and Remy round out the top 5. Garcia 6th. Jake Menton has moved up from 10th to 7th by the end of the opening lap. And is ahead of Max Sadursky, Mate Koperhidze, who's moved up 5 places and is just in front of Adrien Tions, the 271 from Latvia. But the top 3 are pretty much inseparable at the moment as they come through out of turn number 9. Sunshine bathing the circuit from the skies above and really helping the racing to stay as it has been from yesterday morning. But there's been a change for the race lead. Thijs van Wijk has got through on Tom Strela for the race lead, and the Latvian stays in the wheel tracks heading into turns 1 and 2. Giaquinto, the driver from MKC Motorsport, fires it up the inside through at turn number 3 and catches out Tom Strela for 2nd position. Great anticipation by the Italian driver. And now Strela looks to reassert himself and gets back up into P2. through on the Italian at turn 7, but that has then meant that the 3 behind, attempted move here by Naomi Garcia on Andrea Remy through at turn 9. So the 204 unable to make the move through into P5. But Dorrestein, who has only been racing in Rotax since the early part of this year, has also been racing with Chrono Karting, along with her other racing international, well, not just nationally, but also internationally. One of the 4 finalists for this year's, or last year's FIA Girls on Track programme. As a little bit of a clash, wheel to wheel, between Remy and Swiderski, who is getting on with the business of hand. That is trying to get past and get up as far up the order as possible to maximise the point score. And then launches up the inside through at turn 9. Andrea Remy is still wheel to wheel into turn 10 and keeps Max Swiderski at bay. Great job there by the Swiss racer. And Swiderski is having to fight to get that place, and looks to the outside as Remy went inside at turn 12. And once again, Remy able to place the kart, but Swiderski trying to force the window open, and that is going to allow the 242 of Lars Lambers to take advantage of that. And Lambers is through. Oh, and Jake Menton gets a little bit of a bump and run. I think that was from Mate Kobahidze. So Kobahidze into the back of Menton. Menton goes nearly straight on at turn 6. And that allows Ollie Wise also to get through at the same point. So we have 2 incoming time penalties. Jake Menton, 5-second penalty for breaking formation completely. Azul, that was not what was necessary there. Andrea Remy ending up on the runoff area through an attack from Max Swiderski, and Remy runs wide again through turn 12. Confidence might be a little bit slightly knocked after that, but it's mainly the momentum. Ollie Wise gets through on Mate Kobahidze, and so does Jake Menton. Alexander Van Meeuwen is also trying to move up the order in the 227, along with Bram van der Weken. We've also got the 271 is also going to get a penalty. Adrien Steons, 3-second time penalty for leaving or breaking formation with 2 wheels out of the tram lines. Bram van der Weken has got through on Alexander Van Meeuwen. And now he's closing in on Andrea Remy for what is 11th place. But Van Wyk still leads. Strehler second, Giaquinto and Dorrestein. Those are the top 4 drivers. As now Jakob Kubera gets a 5-second penalty for push to pass. Eva Dorrestein has an opportunity to be in the top 3 in this race, and was only 3/4 of a second behind the race leader. So out of turn number 9 on the run down to turn 10. Van Wyk, Strehler, Giaquinto, Dorrestein, that's your top 4. Garcia 5th, a little bit further back, and has got the likes of Lars Lambers and Max Swiderski trying to close on in. And we still have just over 2 minutes and 20 to go, plus an additional lap. Still just under 8 tenths between the top 4, but Dorrestein looking to close on in to Giaquinto for that 3rd place, as is Strehler on Van Wyk for the race lead. Still very much the case that some drivers will wait until the moment they know that they can make that overtake work, and then hold on to that position. There might be a little bit of stern defending involved. Dotterstein right with Giaquinto out of turn number 10. There's less than a kart length between them. At the moment, Max Sadurski has the fastest lap of the race as Van Wyk brings us on to lap 9. Dotterstein looks for the move on Giaquinto and gets it before they hit the apex at turn number 2. Eva Dotterstein now up to 3rd place, having started 5th. And now Strella's going to go for the move up the inside at turn 6 on Van Wyk, gets the race lead, and he's starting to block Van Wyk's attempt, but it's not enough. Van Wyk gets through, retakes the lead. Dotterstein under significant pressure from Giaquinto. And the top 4 were 9/10 apart. If they are like this across the start-finish line, at the end of this lap, it's going to be less than 4/10. Strela looks for the move up the inside of turn number 11, forces Van Wyk wide. There was a little bit of daylight at the end of the tunnel, and Tom Strela took full advantage of it and now gets the race lead back. 2 laps to go. Giaquinto back through on Dotterstein for P3. Add to that now, Lars Lambers and Max Sadurski. Naomi Garcia isn't that far off either. As Lars Lambers gets through on Eva Dotterstein. Sadurski does. What about Garcia? Yes, Naomi Garcia, she also gets through. So Eva Dotterstein drops from 4th place to 7th, but with the timer now expired, there is still 1 lap to go. There's going to be less than 1.4 kilometres to negotiate round here at Karting Genk. And Strela is hanging on by a finger thread right now. Van Wyk starts to mount the pressure early, coming out of the final corner. Last lap underway of Superheat B for Junior Rotax. Van Wyk pulls the trigger up the inside and retakes the race lead through the opening turn. And Lambers has definitely got an opportunity. Looks up the inside through at turn 6. Neatly through on Giaquinto for 3rd is the Belgian. And Van Wyk still hanging on, but Tom Strela is less than a kart length away. It's going to be the run down to turn 10 that could be crucial. Strela switches to the outside to get the undercut. Would he try for the move at turn 11? No, Van Wyk sees it happen. One driver runs off coming out of turn number 11. And that was Lars Lambers. But Strela looks for the move up the inside. It could be nearly 3 wide for the line. And it is Thijs Van Wyk that takes it by 22 thousandths. Tom Strela looks for the undercut up the inside through turn number 12. And nearly had the run. But Thijs Van Wyk takes Superheat B victory in Junior Rotax by 22 thousandths of a second. Lorenzo Giaquinto just under a 10.5 behind in P3. Lars Lambers from 17th on the grid to finish 4th in that race ahead of Naomi Garcia. Max Sadurski 6th ahead of Eva Dotterstein, who at one point was running P3. Bran van der Weken up 12 places from 20th and last on the grid to finish 8th ahead of Ollie Wise and Mate Kobahidze from the UK and Georgia. Jake Menton, Alexander Van Meeuwen, Andrea Remy, Adrien Stions, Antoine Lemieux, Tom Reja, Jakub Kubera, Marco Fali, Elliot Surtees and Vlad Domenchuk round out the 20-strong grid, all making it to the finish, covered by 14.8 seconds.